You know what I like? Green beer.
Okay.
We are pushing the Amazon contest out.
St. Patty's Day?
St. Patty's Day, baby. On March 17th, Ben's going to dye his hair green. You really are. We're going to chug a beer, and then we're going to pull the Amazon card, and we're going to give it away. Do you want to know how you get it? All you have to do is go and bang the red subscribe button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Turn on the notifications. Leave a comment on your thoughts on one of our episodes, but your comment also has to accompany your Instagram handle, because that is how we are going to get you your gift card. And it's going to be a $100 gift card. You want to know why? Because I am for the working class people.
That's right.
And Amazon just laid off 18,000 people because the Fed keeps hiking overnight bank rates and they want people out of work. So what I'm going to do is give away a $100 gift card to Amazon so we can hopefully save one of those employees' jobs. Because Amazon, like, they have a really tight budget and they don't make any money.
They do.
So they have to get rid of those 18,000 workers.
You know what the next giveaway should be for?
A golf ball.
Wells Fargo.
Oh, Wells Fargo.
Because they just laid off 140 jobs.
140,000.
No, 140 jobs.
140 jobs.
Correct.
Okay.
This is the first set of layoffs. More to come for them cutting their correspondent channel.
Wait, hold on. Wells Fargo is getting out a mortgage. Wait, hold on. Is that a black eye for the retail side of the industry?
It's a really big, and there's going to be a lot more to follow. I mean, if you just look at their numbers, like, because they're about to get rid of all their MSRs. Like, they are getting out of mortgage completely.
They should. They're terrible at it.
Right. And I mean, yeah. What was it that they were saying that because they tried to play the race card, didn't they?
Oh my God, yes.
Remind us on that.
I don't think that they tried to play the race card. So what they did was,
well, they tried to spin it.
Yes, it's called Spin Zone. And people like myself, I can recognize this. You can't bullshit a bullshitter. As what was that, Talladega Nights? So here's great movie, by the way, you crazy spider monkey. So what they did was they took their minority, I think he was the CEO of consumer lending, and I forget what his name was, but Hispanic man. And the way the article read was this. It was like, hey, we're getting out of correspondent lending. And so for everyone who doesn't know, what correspondent lending is there are small lenders who are in local communities typically, and then basically they're being insured by Wells Fargo's underwriters and stuff that this is going to pass investor guidelines, and that's what's going on. And they said they were getting out of correspondent lending because they wanted to make sure they didn't take a reputational risk, meaning that these people who are in communities who have smaller companies that they're backing or that they're working with or partnering with, that they aren't going to make a mistake and cause Wells Fargo headaches. And then the next thing they said was, but we're still going to be the biggest lender to the minority, so the Black and Hispanic community. So I'm like, okay, you're getting out of correspondent lending because these people don't know what they're doing and are going to cause you a reputational risk. And then you throw in the fact that you're the biggest minority lender. Why? And then they go on to say, but they fail to mention like the $27 billion that they lost or were down compared to year over year. They failed to mention that, right? And then they go on to say,
down 47% year over year.
47% year over year. So they go on to say something again about why they're getting out, reputational risk, but they're going to invest $100 million into diversity programs for underserved communities, which, well, they didn't say underserved communities. What they said was Hispanic and Black communities, and that they're going to invest that $100 million into these programs. So as long as you bank with them, you'll be able to still do this mortgage program, and they're still going to represent the Hispanic community, the Black community, and minorities in general, and be the biggest lender to minorities, which that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I really believe that people should try to lend to anybody who wants a home. We're all Americans, right? That's the American dream, is home ownership. So I don't care if you're Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, Chinese, whatever nationality you are, whatever your race is, that doesn't matter to me. If you want a home, I'm going to do what I can to get you into that home because that's the American dream. And can I be honest with you? pretty much nobody in America is from America. We're all immigrants.
That's true.
Right? So the reason people come to this country is they talk about the American dream.
They do.
One of the number one things that they want is to own a home for their families to have a future in, right? That's the American dream. But why does Wells Fargo keep bringing up minority communities? Well, let's talk about that. So minority communities in the mortgage industry have been underserved forever,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And there's redlining. There's all kinds of stuff that happen to the minority communities. And factual stuff, all that good stuff, all documented, proven stuff through statistics that show that these communities have been underserved or a lot of bad things have happened, right? So long story short, the reason they're saying that is the minority communities, typically they work with what?
FHA.
FHA, government-sponsored entities.
USDA, yeah.
USDA, it's government-based loans, right? Wells Fargo correspondent channel was 10% of all the government loans given, which represent the minority community.
Yes.
So Wells Fargo is now getting out of correspondent lending. Huge black eye for Wells Fargo. Huge win
Massive.
for the broker channel.
Yeah.
Wells Fargo is getting out of correspondent lending, which means there's less competition in correspondent lending. So what's that mean? What's that mean? Prices are going to go up because when there's less competition
Yep.
and the same amount of demand, prices are going to go up. So it's hurting the minority community or anybody who needs an FHA or wants an FHA or government-sponsored or GSE, right?
Right.
So when I started reading that and putting it together, I was like, wow, okay. So they tried to spin zone it and they tried to say, okay, well, here's $100 million so we can still serve this community. A lot of money, but it's not the billions of dollars that the correspondent lending was. So you just cut off all these lenders that work with their communities, that their community knows and their community trust for your reputational risk. In turn, you hurt anybody who's doing an FHA loan, a GSE loan, right?
Right.
Because now other servicers are going to buy those up. Now places like Caliber New Res are going to go and expand that portion of their business, and there's less competition to force them to drive the price down. Less competition is never good for anybody.
Right. No, it's not. I mean, we've talked about this last episode. Competition runs the world.
Yeah. Unless you're in China.
Yeah. Well,
Then China runs the world. It's true. Their government owns everything. So where were you going with that? You wanted to bring that up for some reason. Are we talking current state of the market or what?
yeah, no, that was just, we're going there next, but that was just the last bit of the mortgage news.
Yeah. Big black eye for Wells Fargo too.
Right. And I mean, like I said, they're dumping their MSRs. It's going to be, they're down 47% year over year.
Yeah, that's huge.
Like,
That's called refi focus, baby.
right. I mean, they're struggling, which means more layoffs are to come.
Yep.
For Wells Fargo.